chat. Everybody gets a drink of water, everybody except Dusty, because I've got him sequestered to his chair. And yes, Barbara, cucumber water is very good. I do like, and I like, oh, what is it I had that day? I had mint and, was it cucumber? I can't remember, was it cucumber and mint? Somebody made it for me, and it was also really good. Okay, so tonight, for the second half of our chat, we are not actually making anything, but I'm going to rapid fire go through some super easy road trip. We're going to pack for road trip success tips, but we do the apron at the halfway point. And again, if you're new, we do the apron so that Casey knows when it's time to do the second half of the chat. And in case we are cooking something that, you know, I have on an apron. It's not going to go over my clothes. Okay, another sip of water real quick. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, I love little bits of frozen fruit in the water, because as they're starting to melt, now my water has just a hint, barely a hint of fruit flavoring with nothing else in there. Okay, so before I go on and on and on about that, today is March the 20th. This is chat number 265. And in the first half, we were talking about creating that little innermost circle of friends, people that fuel you instead of just suck the, you know, whatever out of you. Okay. But in the second half, we are talking about ways to get ready for a road trip and how to have a successful road trip. So this week was spring break for Knox County, Tennessee. I know a lot of you all are either getting ready to go on spring break. Some of you, your spring break revolves around Easter, which is coming up soon, super soon, like faster than I'm ready for it. We are personally going on a road trip this next week down to Disney, and I love to prepare for a road trip. We take some things that I don't have here with me today to show you, but we always pack a cooler. Now, we normally have me and John, so my husband and I, we normally have us, usually have either Casey and her husband Alan, or their children, or Casey, Alan, and their children. So this is the first time that it's just going to be John and I for anything other than just an overnighter in a while. So I've had to kind of rethink how I'm packing this, just because I don't need to take, you know, 1,000 things. You know, I don't need to pack for 5 people. So, okay. Number 1. You need a cooler, okay? So if you're going to be traveling very far at all, you need a cooler. Number 2, you need somebody that likes to organize a little bit. So it's the weirdest thing. Like, I don't like to pre-plan very many things, but I love to pack and get organized for a trip for some bizarre reason. So I'm going to show you some of my tips. I'm going to show you some of the things that I do to pack and, you know, and get ready for a trip. First thing is, you need to get some non-perishable things, and you need to get some sturdy things. So sturdy things are going to be things like apples. Clementines travel really well. Bananas travel okay if you are gentle with them, and if you put them in the side of something else. Baby carrots travel really well. Grapes. So I'm talking about 0-point foods. So you need some 0-point foods that travel really, really well. So grapes travel really well. And then I always get them already, you know, in a container like this, because I'm going to show you how to reuse this container here in just a few minutes. Or things like, I still had 1 pack of these Sprinkles tiny grapes teeny tiny tomatoes in here. So these are teeny tiny tomatoes, and the container that they are in, first of all, these are so small that they're not going to get mushy. So those are going to travel really well. And hard-boiled eggs. So the hard-boiled eggs, I'll leave them in the shell if we're taking them on the trip with us, if we are not ready to eat them right then. So I leave them in the shell, and I either pack them in something else so that they're not going to get broken, or if my egg carton was, okay, so Barbara said fruit's not a 0-point food for her anymore. Thank you, Barbara, for pointing that out. I failed to mention, if you marked yes when you did your evaluation. So when you answered all the questions at the beginning of your evaluation on Weight Watchers, if you answered yes to being diabetic or pre-diabetic, then fruit is no longer a 0-point food for you. So just keep that in mind as you're packing for a road trip. But eggs, after I hard boil them, then obviously I put them back in the refrigerator, and then I would carry them in the cooler portion of of whatever I've packed. But if I did a like a cardboard egg carton, those are better because they're a little bit cushier. Or I have a plastic egg carton that I put a hairband around to keep it closed, and I will leave those in there until I'm ready to open them, until I'm ready to eat them. Unless we're going to eat them like as we're driving, and then I will go ahead and just open as many as we need. Okay, so that's one little tip. Get some sturdy things. Second tip, get some things that are pre-packaged and like in a snack size, like some kind of beef sticks or turkey sticks. These are small. I wanted turkey sticks, but they did not have them at Aldi or at Food City today. So I don't know if there's a turkey stick shortage. Like I didn't even see places on the shelves, which was unusual because normally I can find lots of turkey sticks. I could only find them in other things that we will talk about here in a second. But so I went ahead and got these because the Craven beef sticks, they have 4 grams of protein. These are 2 points. So it's 2 points and it's a decent sized, little stick. But some things like that, if you go to Aldi, you can get 100-calorie packs. They have almonds, and they have one that's almonds and walnuts. These are 4 smart points. If you need to splurge a little bit, if you want something, kind of a treat instead of stopping and getting a candy bar. I'm super bad about, and y'all know this. Well, I'm going to let you all guess. So y'all know, if you've been around very long, I have one thing that road trip equals what? Do y'all remember what it is? When we're going on a road trip, there's one thing that pops in my head as far as a snacky food every single time. And if you remember it, you get an extra Bravo sticker. But instead of getting that thing, and John knows what it is, so he can't cheat. But even if you splurge and get some kind of little trail mix like this, this is not a huge thing of trail mix. And this one I think is 7 smart points. No, I love potato chips. I love potato chips, but that is not it. And no, Vicky, not gummies. I think this one's 7 points, but this is still better, and it's going to fill you up more than the thing, like if you stopped and got, some kind of candy or something like that. This does have, let's see, let me find it here, a little bit of fiber. This has 3 grams of fiber and 9 grams of protein. Yes, Carol Lou's exactly right. Peanut M&Ms, yeah. And Kathy, I'd love to make that man's chicken, but the one thing that pops in my head, like as far as a, yeah, mini Snickers would be good too, but peanut M&Ms. I don't know why, but as soon as John says, hey, we're going to get in the car and it's going to be longer than an hour, my brain says peanut M&Ms. Okay, so to avoid peanut M&Ms, something like this, even if at a higher point trail mix, this still has 9 grams of protein and 3 grams of fiber, so this is still better for you than like a candy bar, eating some kind of a candy bar. So something like, something like that. So something like that that's going to travel well. Next thing is, take containers that you've reused from something else. And yes, Vicky, we're going to talk about that here in just a second. So I save containers, like Alyssa thinks it's hers. So she thinks this entire cabinet, because I put it down low so that she can play with them, but she thinks this cabinet at home is hers. But it is all kinds of reusable plastic containers. Now I've washed them out, but like this one, I'm pretty sure was probably hot and sour soup from a Chinese restaurant. Pretty sure that's what it was. But it's a nice, it's just a nice size container. This one I think was probably a carry-out container from one of the food trucks that comes here to Casey Kitchen Center, but another, a nice reusable container. And let's face it, if I get down there, so if I get to Disney and I lose these, or we break them, or we accidentally run over them with the truck or whatever, I'm not going to be devastated, because this is not my expensive, plasticware that I've bought from anywhere. When I mentioned the grapes earlier, so even though it's more expensive, theoretically, I'm still on the fence about this. Carol Lou says her peanut, her granddaughter is also peanut. Ours is too. So her peanut also has an empty container cupboard there at her house. That's hilarious. But theoretically, these grapes are more expensive in this cup than they are loose. But I don't know. I I can convince myself that it's okay to pay $2.50 for this size grapes because A, somebody has gone through and picked through these and there's never any gross ones in there. You know, like you'd have to go through and pick, you know, from home. Plus, I can wash them and then take them with me. It's a cup. I can stick it in the cup holder. I can just sit and eat them straight out of that. And when I'm done, I can use this if I need to use this container to put some carrots in. So like if we're going to go back out later and I need to put some carrots in it, if I want to put some, you know, a couple of things of applesauce, like just, you know, single serve applesauce in there, you can do that. But you can put lots of other things in it. You could put some cereal in it to take back out later. But anyway, I always end up using containers like this. Like I end up using them like 2 and 3 times. If you wanted to pack a couple of the eggs, of the hard-boiled eggs, and then put them down in your cooler, this would be perfect for that. So I always reuse those kinds of containers. I'm so sad that Food City was completely out of it, but the core protein that I have decided I like so much, I'm going to have to go to another store, or maybe I'll just wait till I get down to Publix to get some. But I almost always get some of these individual serving cereals. So there's something about being on a road trip that just screams, I don't know, you just want to eat cereal today. You know, you don't want to have, you know, it's either cereal or Pop-Tarts. This is John's. This is the Raisin Bran is definitely higher in points. So I think this container was like 7 or 8 points for the whole container. The Cheerios, just regular plain old Cheerios. This is not Honey Nut Cheerios. The regular plain old Cheerios, and these are like $1 across the street at Food City. This with so these are Cheerios is 4 points, and then for half. If I needed to use half of the oh my gosh, the name just left me. Pure Life, I've lost it. Fairlife, of half of the Fairlife core protein drink. So I've got the vanilla. We could do half in John's and half in mine. And half of that is 2 points. So 2 points plus 4 points equals anybody, it equals 6 points. So that's still going to be better than eating Pop-Tarts, okay? And I'll feel better about it. And regular Cheerios have, let me find it here, 1 gram of fiber. So woohoo! But anyway, so they already come in these little containers. Again, I end up saving these little plastic containers and reusing them a couple of times. I've been known to use them for Dusty's water, if he's going with us, you know, or something like that. If you get leftover, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Loretta says she loves Cheerios mixed with yogurt. I'll have to try that. If we get, bye Alicia, have fun. So when we get extra plasticware from somewhere, so if they've thrown it in our bag, or if we go, you know, I don't know, if we get carry-out food or whatever, and we get extra plasticware, don't throw it away. First of all, because you're killing me for throwing stuff like this away, like a whole packet of plasticware, the plastic. I mean, this is like a huge waste. Anyway, but at least try to use it. So I pack these so that if we get somewhere and we have the food that I've packed and we need a fork or a knife or whatever, we already have it. I'm going to show you how I pack that here in just a minute. We always take Jif to go. There are some other brands that come in like little squeeze tubes, but the Jif to go I like because they're in these little individual cups. And these we pack, and we take these to the park, and we make our own sandwiches. So I know, and I've had lots of people go, they let you take food into Disney? Are there places that they don't let you take food into? Like, we hardly ever, I think I've been to Dollywood, like, I mean, we live, don't tell Dolly I said this, but we live, I don't know what, John, 40 minutes from Dollywood maybe, and I think I've been twice ever. I have no idea if Dolly would let you bring stuff in. I don't know if other theme parks do, but like if you're going to the beach, or if you're just going on a road trip, or if you're going to a soccer tournament, or it's a volleyball trip, or whatever, it's just a road trip. It doesn't have to be to Disney, but we make our own sandwiches with these. So the whole container of this is 8 points. So if you ate this entire thing of peanut butter, this would be 8 points. But if you split it in half, because you kept the super handy knife that came in, whatever this came in, you kept that super handy knife, and then you had, oh, and I'll have to dig them out here. I'll show you how to make this in a second. I'll circle back around to this one because I'm gonna have to dig out of this to show you how to make that. But we do make our own sandwiches when we're waiting in line at Disney. That is the easiest way to kill time, to eat food without spending any extra money, you know, and to eat what you have. So Individual peanut butter cups, super easy. Try to split them with a friend because it's 8 points for the whole thing or 4 points for half of it. If you happen to be staying at a hotel, we will be staying in a camper, in our camper, but if you happen to be staying at a hotel, or if you have been to a restaurant lately that has, you know, jams or jellies and they left some on the table, if you wanted to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you know, you can take these little individual ones with you. That's another great thing to keep. What's in here, I'm going to show you this in just a second, but I wanted to show you what's inside of this are clear bags. So I used to use plastic Ziploc bags. So if y'all have been watching this for very long, you know, always in chats past, when I've shown you how to pack for a trip or shown you how to pack for Disney or whatever, I've used clear plastic, like zippered bags. I'm not doing that anymore. Let's see. Oh yeah, Debbie says you can't see something if something is molded or bad in those squeeze tubes. That's true. That's actually true. Yeah. So this is much better to be able to peel off the top and see what's in it. But anyway, so I have completely 100% switched to these see-through mesh bags. These are called Bumble Bags. And they are they're just called produce bags, and they are see-through. Disney will let you bring your own food in, but my recommendation, anything that you're going to pack in your backpack at Disney, Dollywood, anywhere else, even if it's not food, put it in a clear bag, because when you go through security, if they can see what's in it, like if they're going to go through your bag, or even if you're going through, like at Disney now you can go through and be scanned kind of like at the airport. You can use these for the airport. I mean, you can put your things that you're going to, hello Sylvia, that you can, and Sylvia, we're talking about road trips and packing things for that. So you could totally do this for the baseball tournament and have fun. But clear bags are better because if they can see through them, they're not going to fondle them and squish them. So I can't tell you how many bananas I have had fondled and squished going through Disney security lines when they couldn't see through it. So I started using clear bags. So these are called Bumble Bags. We do have these here at Casey Kitchen Center. They have a drawstring, so when you get them filled up, you can just close the drawstring. All three of the ones that we have here at Casey Kitchen Center are all this gallon size, and again, these are Bumble Bags with super cute, super cute designs, and you can just close those up, and you can get those on CaseyKitchenCenter.com. This one is one that I found at Home Goods. Still a gallon size, another, cute color. I love the color purple, so I love that one. They are produce bags, so you can use them when you go to buy your produce, or you can use them for something like this. Now, once you do that, I have my market bag, and my market bag has all of my treats in it. Now, I've got all of this in a market bag so that I can just drop this down into our cooler, because part of this is perishable, and part of this is going to have to go in the cooler. And that way, as we're driving down the road, if John says, hey, I want something to snack on, or, whatever, I can just pull this out, or I can pull one of my containers out. Like if I kept a leftover bigger container, and if it's full of cubed cheese, or if it's full of That Man's turkey tenderloin. And y'all were super close when you were saying That Man's chicken. We always make That Man's turkey tenderloin, and I didn't get it yet because it's too many days out, and I need to make it fresh. So we will definitely be making That Man's turkey tenderloin, which would be fantastic in a container about this size to nibble on as we're going, as we're driving down. But in my market bag, I have got a couple of different bags in here. One of them is just a small little produce bag. Well, it's not little, but it's like a half gallon size, and it has all of my snack cheese in it. So this definitely has to be refrigerated. So this will be going in the cooler. These are Sargento reduced fat snack cheeses. These are 2 Smart Points. This is Tillamook not reduced fat medium cheddar. These things are fantastic, and we're going on a trip, so I'm going to treat myself a little bit. These are 4 Smart Points, so 4 Smart Points for the cheddar, 2 Smart Points for the Sargento light. See, now I'm thinking about the Tillamook cheese. Anyway, for the reduced fat Colby Jack, it's Colby Jack. And then we also usually buy some reduced fat or some light mozzarella string cheese to take with us. But again, it's in a clear, so I would not ever just take, I don't think I would, into somewhere like Disney, but like if you were headed to the beach or somewhere else. And this way too, you know, when the kids are digging through it, they can see what's in there. So they can say, oh, okay, that's the bag with all the cheese in it. You know, this is the bag with all the snacks in it, you know, and they're not going to dump everything out. So that's another, you know, big concern, is to make sure that they're not dumping, you know, everything out. I do always take some kind of low point tortillas with us. So this time we'll be taking the carb counter tortillas. These are 1 Smart Point. We'll be taking those, and I'll show you here in a second what we do with those. And oh my gosh, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. We got like 8 minutes left. So we're doing pretty good. Okay, so this is just another one of the produce bags. It's clear, again, that way the kids are not dumping stuff out, or your husband, you know, whatever, looking for stuff. So this one has all of our, or has an assortment of snack things in it. Hello, Joanna. Has an assortment of snack things in it. I always start every road trip. I start every road trip with some kind of like Pringles, or these, I happen to go to Aldi today, so these are Clancy's Stackers, the cheddar cheese, because we will eat the chips that are in here. And yes, I know that chips are points, but for some reason, the chips like this, I don't go crazy. Like, I won't eat that whole thing. We will ration this out, and we'll eat it while we're in line, or we'll eat it while we're driving down there or whatever, because again, it fits in a cup holder. But this gives me another sturdy container if I need to slip some things down in here, like if I need to slip some snack mix or some, you know, pretzels in other bags or something down here, I can reuse this a couple of times. So that's going to go in our bag. Then I've also got more trail mix. I've got some tuna pouches, because this is going to be a bag that's going to be packed. It'll have the low point tortillas in it. So we can have, you know, if we want to, like while we're waiting in line, if I want to turn my backpack around, and if y'all have watched very long, you know, I do this every time. I pack whatever we're going to have for, you know, snack or lunch. I pack in my backpack. And then while we're waiting in a line, so if we're going to be in line for like an hour or so and it's during lunchtime, I'll just turn the backpack around and I'll have it on the front of me, and I make like a little, I can pat it down to make like a little shelf, and I'll take a low point tortilla. Remember the knife that I got out of something, or, you know, a fork and a knife that came out of another one, or wherever they went, the packs of these, you know, that we got, you know, because we've got these everywhere that we reuse. And then I can either take the low point tortilla, and I can open a tuna pack and put that on there, and we can have a tuna sandwich. Or I can use one, I can do a half of a peanut butter, and I can split it with John. And so I can do a half a peanut butter and a banana, half a thing of peanut butter and a banana, roll it up in here, and you wouldn't believe the jealous looks. I mean, seriously, people look at us like, oh, why didn't we think of that? But so this has all of our snacks in it. So it's got an assortment of them. So again, more tuna packs. It's got Quest bars. It has the Everly hydration drink mix that I'm going to put in, you know, in my water. It has more 100-calorie packs. So those are 4 points each, in case I didn't say that out loud. It's got more of those in there. It's got peanut butter crackers. I mean, it's got all that stuff. So all of this is in this bag now, you know, and we can just take it up, put it in our backpack, put it in your cooler, put it wherever the kids are going to be digging in. So if you're going through a security line, they can easily see what's in there. Or, you know, if the kids are just going to be digging in it, you know, that way they're not dumping everything out looking for the one thing that they were looking for. Okay, also, if you're staying somewhere where you have some control over what you're going to eat, so like we'll be in our camper and we will have a small refrigerator with us, little containers like this. You can get some pre-made salad mix. You can go ahead and mix it up in something, put it out into some of these containers. And since you have these, you could totally, and yes, those bags, if you had, yes, if there was water in the cooler, then yes, those bags, they would get wet in the cooler. But these are wrapped in plastic. And then I put the other bags that don't need to get wet, I separate them in the cooler. So if I'm carrying everything in the cooler, I'll put another plastic bin down in there, put the things that don't need to be cold in it, and the things that need to be cold in on the cold side. I guess I forgot to mention, I don't put ice in my cooler. I freeze bottles of water. So they do have condensation on them, but I freeze bottles of water instead of packing ice in there. That way we have water to drink. We don't have any ice to dump out. You know, and it keeps everything cold. But anyway, so you can do this. You can go ahead and put it in some of these reusable containers. And because you have these, you can eat that. If you wanted to put one of your hard-boiled eggs on there, you could. You could do that as well. I always have, and y'all have seen this 150 times, we always have our very fancy plastic container of camping snacks, and Alyssa loves to dig through this. So this is literally a pod container. So this was from Laundry Pods. You do have to wash it out very well just so it doesn't smell like anything. But here again, this is filled with all of the snacks that I just went through: peanut butter crackers, Quest bars, snack mix. We've got the meat sticks in here. Okay, last but not least, and I'm going to tell y'all this real quick. Okay, so when I was at Aldi and when I was at Food City today, because yes, I went to 2 grocery stores today, I found, you know, those little snack trays, like several different variations of like protein snack things. A, they were expensive. B, they were super, like higher in points. And I thought, well, that's ridiculous. I don't need to do that. So instead, we'll be using our, you know, our disposable containers. And if I do, so basically what these things were, it was some kind of meat, some kind of nuts, hello Janet, some kind of meat, so like a meat stick, some kind of nuts, some kind of cheese. Ooh, and Debbie does blocks of ice for hurricanes. I don't want to, we're not doing any hurricanes, okay? Just kidding. So, and then some kind of, you can do some kind of fruit, and you can do one of your hard-boiled eggs. So me making this is way less expensive than what was in those little kits. So I can do the hard-boiled egg. For me is 0 points because I always have eggs as 0. This cheese stick is 2, this is 4, and this is 2. So this is 2, 4, 8, 0. So that's 8 points, and that's a heck of a lot more food for a lot less money than what was in that little protein pack. Okay, and then real quick, I have a quiz for you all. So in these packs, always make sure that you have things like lip balm, hair thingies. If you've got, you know, long hair or whatever, make sure you've got those in there. Always take some tissues with you. But here's my quiz. So empty medicine containers, because y'all know how much I love to reuse things. So we use these to put matches in, anything that needs to not get wet. Like if we need like if we're going to be gone long enough to do 3 loads of laundry, you can fit about 3 laundry pods in one of these. And you know, and they won't get wet because these, you don't put them in the cooler though. These things are made to stay dry because it's made to have medicine in it. So they will stay drier than most things. Okay, this one I used for quarters. So you get bonus points. So everybody who got bonus points for knowing that peanut butter M&M or peanut M&Ms are the one thing that I get just crazy over when I hear the word road trip. So I want y'all to guess, how many quarters can you fit in a regular size? I happen to know how many it is. We'll be going through several tolls. Some of them still take actual money. We will have, exactly right. Yeah, Barbara says change to pay tolls. Yeah, some of them still do take money. I don't know how many of them do. They were, you know, starting to switch over, but we also do the laundry there at Fort Wilderness. We'll wash clothes at least a couple of times. But bonus points, if you can tell me, y'all have 2 minutes to guess. If you can tell me how many quarters fit in a regular 20. So maybe I should have said how many dollars worth. How many dollars worth of quarters will fit in this? So you all have 2 minutes to guess. Okay, Marianne says $10. Katie says $5 or half of a roll. Trish says 10. Oops, somebody else said 10. Hold on. Joyce said 10. Vicki said 20. I think I got Marianne. Marianne said 10. Mary says 20. John says, good night, everyone. See you from Disney. He doesn't even want to guess. He's just ready to go. Star says 10. Barbara says 15. Trish says 40 quarters. Yeah, that's $10, I think. And Deanna says 8. It is $10. So you can get $10 worth of quarters in this. In case you need to have quarters somewhere, you will know that you can fit exactly $10 in there. Okay, so I hope y'all found something out of this mess that will help you if you've got soccer tournament, volleyball games, baseball, like Sylvia has, baseball. They've, you know, if you're going to the beach, if you're going to a theme park, if you're going with us to Disney, you know, I hope you can find something. So I hope that helps somebody that was trying to figure out how to pack. We have, this chat will be posted tomorrow on YouTube. It's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. If you need a, oh no, I've got to remember what all this was. And then Jessica will have all of this printed. She'll have all of this typed out. If you need a typewritten list of, you know, of everything that I had included here. She will have that typed out probably by Tuesday and posted, so you can just print it out and use it if you want to. And maybe I'll have her do it like a packing list, you know, like a packing list that you could check off of things, you know, that you could take with you. But anyway, so I hope that helps somebody out. Alyssa will be trying the Lily's unicorn chips tomorrow, and she'll let you know how those are. But yeah. So I hope y'all had a good time. And let's see, Trish said, oh, she knows that because she stores $10 worth of quarters in each one when she goes somewhere. I missed that. Okay. Anyway, so I hope y'all got some great ideas. We are going to pack up and head home because we've got to start getting ready to leave to go to Disney. But thank you all for being here again. We will see you next week. When I see you next time, well, y'all will see Alyssa try the Lily's chips. But when I see you all next time, hopefully, again, pray for us that we get to go, that everything works out. But hopefully we will be at our happy place at Disney the next time we see you. But thank you all for being here. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and, and I'll have to go back and see what Marlene did. But if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and let that next video roll over. I promise you're going to enjoy it. And then go ahead and hit subscribe. I would love it if you would click subscribe. Oh yeah, laundry. Yeah, Trish. Hit subscribe. And go ahead and subscribe and click that little bell so you'll know when the next one comes up. And our anniversary was fantastic. Thank you everyone for your well wishes on that. And again, next week is John's birthday and we'll be at Disney. Yay! So y'all have a great evening and I will see you next time. Good night.